Hi everybody. Today I wanted to do a quick review of a deck that I have that's quite interesting. I think you'll enjoy a walkthrough with me. It's called Tarot of the Wyrd or Wyrd. That's an Old English word which means fate or destiny. And this is an interesting deck. You can't actually find it online unless you go to Game Crafters. thegamecrafter.com. Tarot of the Wyrd. They'll show you a few of the cards. You can buy it online. The current price is $27.99. So I had my deck come in. Tarot of the Wyrd. 78 card deck in the Rider-Waite tradition. And I'd like to also first state that I'm not a professional card reader. I've never read for others professionally. I basically use tarot for my own enjoyment, that of my family and friends, and I've spent a lot of time independently studying, so that's the background from which I'm coming. Alright, so first I'd like to show you the box. Tarot of the Wyrd, 78 card deck. I invite you to take a walk into the world of teacups and gothic Victoriana, a world of magic inspired by an era of eccentricity and regal splendor. Each card tells a story, and every image has its own personality within that story. The question is, do you follow? The choice is yours. So I've got a nice little box that you can keep your cards in, tuck box. Now this does not come with a book, or even a little white book. This just comes with a fold-out paper with very minimal descriptions of the cards, the meanings, and so forth. So you really do need to, this is not a good deck for beginners by any means, but you know, in another sense, it is kind of a good deck for beginners. I have to take that back, because if you're a beginning reader and you maybe have a Rider-Waite deck, you can add this because this deck includes keywords, and keywords are meant for beginners. So I guess in that sense you could use it as a beginning reader. Alrighty, so let us get started with our walkthrough. And I'm going to try and get my camera here to where it's not going to be so much movement to annoy you. So the card for the Fool, 0, the Fool, in this deck is known as Initiation. Nice representation. You've got your dog, you've got the boy, his chair is perched precariously on the cliff. So we have sort of the same general feel and meaning. The High Priest, a Victorian gentleman. He's got the pentacle in the corner. I'm not sure what this is here. But as far as a High Priest, I don't know. That's sort of a little lacking to me, but maybe you guys will have a nicer interpretation of it looking at that card. I like this High Priestess. The all-seeing eye there. She's got her book of knowledge. There's a rainbow. So this one works for me. The High Priestess. Instead of the Empress, we have the Mother. A nice Victorian mother card. Flowers, garden, a child. So that works. That's pretty nice. Instead of the Emperor, we have the Father. And I like this very much. It's got a sort of a Green Man feel to it as well. There's a stag there, which is traditionally associated with the Emperor or the 4 card. So I do like this card quite well. The Father, or in other decks it would be called the Emperor. Now this is something that she switches, and I'm not sure why. I guess it really doesn't matter, because in tarot there are no set rules. But normally card 5 is the Hierophant, and she switched the Hierophant with the Hermit. So here we have the Hermit at position number 5, and it's a nice representation of the Hermit. We have a gentleman, sort of introspective. You get the impression that he's in some kind of a quiet area with just his lit candle, and he's meditating or concentrating on something. Card number 6, the Lovers. Pretty typical representation. We've got a little Cupid looking child there. We've got some hearts and letters, love letters to the left, and we've got the fire down below to symbolize the fire of their love. So that one's okay. That works for me. Chariot. We have the 2 horses, black and white. We don't have a person in this chariot, and we don't even have a chariot in this chariot, so I'm not exactly sure. I mean, I guess you could get it to work for you. Oh, there is a chariot down here. I take that back. There's like a wagon, and horse-drawn wagon down way at the bottom. And then we have a larger representation of the horses. So, okay. That makes sense. The chariot. Number 8, strength. Now, a lot of these cards are kind of photoshopped looking superimposition of one image over another. This is a woman over a lion, and the lion is over a sunset background. It's very nicely done. I like it. And I would have to say, as far as cardstock goes, this cardstock is pretty nice. I mean, nothing too thick, nothing too thin, nothing very laminated or anything like that. It's just plain cardstock, so nothing too fancy. I would prefer to get some nice cardstock the way that playing cards are made, but I've never seen tarot cards with that same type of a finish, so I guess it's going to be sometime in the future, if ever. Okay, now number 9, as we normally would see the Hermit, in this deck we have the Shaman. And I think in other decks you would regard this card to be the same as the Hierophant. It's the religious person. He's got his sickle there. A wolf. A lot of symbols. He's standing on parchment. It's an interesting card. And then there's the moon behind, so sort of similar to the High Priestess, the Shaman also has the moon. Card number 10, the Wheel, which would normally be the Wheel of Fortune, but in this case we have a spinning wheel, so that's kind of nice. We've got the representation of the elements. We've got water, fire, air, represented by the rainbow and the clouds, and this is earth. Kind of neat. The ferns representing earth. Very nice in the spinning wheel. What goes up must come down. Spinning wheel. Oops, sorry about that, folks. Don't quit my day job, right? Alrighty, now we come to card number 11, Justice. This Justice does have scales up in the corner. There's a, sword there. A gentleman who looks like he might be a judge or a lawyer. So I guess that's pretty representative of Justice. Card number 12, the Hanged Man. We have looks like a kind of a circus acrobat, all wrapped up. Hanging, suspended animation. There you are. Good representation of the hangman. Then we have for death. I don't know, it's very difficult to see because it's a dark deck and the death card is the darkest of the dark. It's just it's kind of hard to see. It's just a figure with glowing eyes. And it looks like there may be another figure down here, like you would have in another deck where you would have the representation of the devil with the person who's being subjected to their, their baser instincts and trying to overcome their cravings or things that are not good for you. So, okay, that works also. I like this. This is Temperance. Now, normally Temperance is shown as two different fluids or substances merging together. A lot of times you've got two jars with water flowing together. Kind of the alchemical symbols sometimes of different elements joining together. But this temperance is a little different. This is the temperance of abstinence from alcohol. So we've got her tea. She's enjoying tea, not alcohol. So hey, just a good reminder of there's another way you can look at temperance. And that is the traditional meaning from about 100 years ago of the word temperance. It was synonymous with abstinence from alcohol. Oh, now hold on just a second. I thought we had a devil already. That was death. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was death. So death is the two glowing eyes. And here is the devil. I don't know what I was thinking of earlier. So the devil is this kind of top-hatted gentleman leading you off into who knows where, probably some kind of mischief. The devil. And here we have the tower. Pretty typical representation. Lightning is striking the tower. People are falling. Things are being shaken up. This is kind of cute. The star. Instead of a woman in the water, we have a boy on grass, and it's a shooting star. Maybe like Halley's Comet or something like that. So there's the star. I like the expression on the little guy's face. Hopeful. And the moon. This is also nice. I love these Victorian motif cards. This is very typical of about 100 years ago. My mother, when she was a little girl, this was like in the 1930s, had a picture of herself on a moon, a photograph taken of herself sitting on a moon like that. So here's the little girl on the moon. I like it. Your dreams, intuition, illusion. Here we have the sun, a day at the beach. So we took the little boy from the sun in the Rider-Waite deck and we put him on the star card and moved the lovers here to the sun. Kind of cute. It's a day at the beach. That's pretty representational of sun. I like it. Now we have judgment. We have the scales of judgment. We have a pretty stern-looking angel there. I don't know. And I'm not sure about this, what this is supposed to be. It does have elements of the typical Rider-Waite judgment, which had people rising from their graves. The hand coming up sort of represents that. So this is the card that means you're experiencing an awakening, or you're come to a realization about something. It's not really judgment per se, as in the justice sense. All right, and then the final trump, the world. Showing the world and the animals and people kind of surrounding. That's kind of a different picture. I'd have to really look at it. I see there's a whale, an owl, some kind of a circus acrobat. All right, moving on to the minor arcana. Now this deck, instead of having your wands, swords, cups, and pentacles, this deck has cups, wands. Instead of swords, they have cutlery. And instead of pentacles or diamonds or earth, stones, they've got watches. Watches represent the earth and the material world. It's kind of steampunky, these cutlery and watches, so that's kind of interesting. But they did not change cups and wands, so here is the Ace of Wands. So I'm not sure if that actually transmits to me the sense of energy. That's sort of a non-energetic child there, but Ace of Wands, Two of Wands, and as you can see, this deck has keywords. Creativity for Ace of Wands. So even if the picture doesn't get you there, if you're a beginning reader, you can kind of use the keywords, so that helps. Two of Wands is confidence, and it can also be formulating a plan, making a partnership. So there are a lot of other meanings if you're a more experienced reader, but you can go with the basic one that they give you there, confidence. Three of Wands, foundation. And as you can see, the Wands cards represent fire, and they're colored with the reddish, yellowish hues of the flame. They've got the reddish border around. Four of Wands, family. Now see, they have the Four of Wands, the typical garland that is shown in other decks, but they also give you a very good graphic representation of a family there too. So your solid foundation, more toward family in this deck. Five of Wands, disagreement, pretty typical. Six of Wands is success. So rather than the gentleman riding a horse victoriously, coming out of battle, this is kind of a parade, a victory parade, I guess. Seven of Wands. Rather than a depiction of defending yourself, this is more rivalry. So there's some jealousy going on, some kind of rivalry. He looks like he's getting ready to defend himself against something. Eight of Wands. I like this Eight of Wands. Journey. There's the idea of motion, moving along in your journey through the wand suit. Nine of Wands, vigilance. Kind of an unusual looking guy there. Ten of Wands, burden. You're just about done with this endeavor. Time to get a new job. Page of Wands is really a lovely card. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Page of Wands, potential. Knight of Wands, adventure. So we have a typical knight on a horse, riding out. Queen of Wands, illumination. I like her cat, the white cat. Similar to the Rider-Waite, Queen of Wands, I think. King of Wands, dedication. And if I mix up some of my symbols from the Rider-Waite, I hope you forgive me, because as I said, I'm not a professional reader, I'm a student, and doing these videos helps me to kind of sort things out on my own too. So thanks for the journey with me. I appreciate you traveling along. All right, we move from Wands to Cups. And of course, when it's a Victorian themed deck, teacups fit right in. Ace of Cups, spirituality. Two of Cups, harmony. And they've got the couple there. Very nice. Three of Cups, unity. Oh, I like this Three of Cups. Celebratory. Very nice. Four of Cups, ruminating. And this is a water suit, so they've got blue borders. So Four of Cups. I kind of like how this is done with the Four of Cups. Five of Cups, regret. Six of Cups, happy memories. Seven of Cups, choices. So this is all pretty typical Rider-Waite. Eight of Cups, distance. Not so much distance in my opinion, but I guess that's a good enough word to use to describe it. More of a moving out of what situation that you're in. You're kind of moving from one place to another. Eight of Cups, distance. Nine of Cups, security. That's nice. And the Ten of Cups, reward, completion. Looks like they've got the whole set of cups there. The Page of Cups, Reflection. Wow, a lot in that card. It's very busy. But there's our page. Oops, what happened to my Knight of Cups? Well, I must have misplaced it. Okay, I went through my cards and I was able to find the Knight, so I do have the Knight of Cups. There he is on his horse. And the theme that they have is movement. Movement, that's pretty generic, so I don't know, that doesn't really seem to be too great. But King of Cups, flow. Let's go with the flow guy. And we showed the Queen of Cups already, so King of Cups. The teacups and the teapots through the cup suit is really cute. Okay, the next is the suit of cutlery. Ace of cutlery to represent intellect. I like that real well. Two of cutlery, opposition. There she's got her blindfold and the crossed cutlery. Three of cutlery, discord. The Three of Hearts, or the three swords through the heart, as you see in the Rider-Waite deck. All right, Four of cutlery. A well-deserved rest there before you resume your activity. Five of cutlery, defeat. Very Rider-Waite. The others walking away. Six of cutlery, solace, sailing off. Seven of cutlery, insincerity. That's a good keyword for that card. I do like that. Eight of cutlery, blindness. So rather than being bound, this person is more pictured as unable to see. That works. Nine of cutlery, realization. Rather than nightmare, well, it is rather a depiction of a nightmare, but the key word is realization. Well, that's kind of a good way to produce this card. I like that. That works, and it gives you more to think about than just bad dreams. Realization. Ten of cutlery, disillusion. There we have the typical 10 swords stuck in a body. Great. Not my favorite. Page of cutlery, contemplation. Oh, that's nice. I like that. Contemplation. The Knight of cutlery, tolerance. That's an interesting keyword to choose for the Knight of cutlery. Queen of cutlery, experience. Oh, look at her go. She does not look like the distressed widow. She looks like a warrior princess. The King of cutlery, authority. I like that one as well. I like the fox, representing cunning and knowledge. Good job. Good job on that. Now I'd like to point out that the Cutlery Suit, which would be associated in other decks with the Suit of Swords, is associated with the element air, and all the cards in the Cutlery Suit are surrounded by a yellowish border, representational of air. And the cards in the Suit of Watches, which is representational of earth, are all surrounded with a border of greenery to represent their element of earth. So that's pretty good. All right, now we're moving to the final suit, which instead of being called pentacles or coins, it's being represented as watches. So you've got kind of a similar image because watches are round, coins and pentacles are round, so it works pretty well. And it fits in with the Victorian kind of steampunky theme. So the Ace of Watches, abundance. Two of Watches, similar to Rider-Waite, the juggling guy there. Delegate. So you're delegating, you're trying to juggle what you're doing, delegate what you need to. Three of Watches, competence. So that's kind of the apprentice card in the Rider-Waite deck. And we do kind of show this lady as an artist there. She's learning her craft. She's sort of an apprentice. Competence. Oops, we moved from 3 to 5. What happened to my 4? There it is. Four of Watches, materialism. And that does fit with the Rider-Waite Four of Pentacles theme. You're materialistic, perhaps focus too much on the material world. Five of Watches, restriction. So we don't have the image of destitution or poverty, but we still have the same keyword of restriction, meaning restriction of your materialism. So it does the same job. Six of Watches, selflessness. Very nice. We have the old Florence Nightingale style nurse there. Giving, charity. Well, that works very well. Seven of Watches, waiting. So we have a similar image of the Rider-Waite Seven of Pentacles. Somebody in their harvesting mode, and he's kind of out in the field there. The watches in there are pretty interesting, and he's waiting. Waiting to reap the benefits of his hard work. Eight of Watches. This is kind of an achievement card. New skill. So we see a student at his desk. Someone's handing him a diploma. So this is a card of achievement and mastery, and that works. New skill for Eight of Watches. Nine of Watches. Recuperate. I don't know, recuperate. Typically the Rider-Waite meaning, or the card of the Rider-Waite Nine of Pentacles shows a lady in a garden, an abundance of flowers. She's got a bird on her arm, and she's sort of enjoying a lovely environment. So I guess it's sort of the same theme. This is somebody out in the field, kind of regrouping and enjoying the day, I guess. I don't know. Recuperate. 10 of Watches, enterprise. So there's the inside of a store, it looks like. All the workers or the family that owns it. It's a jeweler's, watchmaker and jeweler. 10 of Watches. Very nice. Page of Watches. Careful planning. That's traditionally a student card. Knight of Watches. Husbandry. As in animal husbandry, care of the farm. Very good. Queen of Watches. Nurture. So that would be your Queen of Pentacles in the Rider-Waite. So she's enjoying her fruits of her labor, and she's a nurturing person as well. And then we have the King of Watches to represent Earth. He's the fire of Earth. Gosh, I don't know. I think I would have used this sort of imagery for the Queen and used this card for the King if it were me making this deck. But, you know, you're never going to find the deck that's perfectly representational of what you yourself would make. So you just have to make your own deck, right? So here are the backs of the cards. They are reversible. See if I can get you a little better view of that. So that's it. That is the Tarot of the Wyrd, or Tarot of the Wyrd, meaning fate or destiny, featuring the card the Devil on the box. And I hope you enjoyed this walkthrough. Until next time, thank you.